guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Ashley and I'm glad that you stopped by today. So I was kind of thinking about it. I was going through my collection and I was like, I have some makeup items that I've kind of been hoarding a little bit, or just rather some interesting products that I've been hoarding just a little bit. So today I thought I would try out the ColourPop Jelly Much shadows for you, and plus they just released a whole bunch of other shades, and so I just wanted to come on camera and just do a little quick demo and play with them and see what we think. I know the colors are gorgeous. I did pick up two. I picked up Half Moon and I picked up Foxes. So let me swatch them for you. You know they're like a jelly based shadow, and they come in this little jar right here, so you can see it. It's upside down with the logo. And then inside, once you untwist it, there is like a little stopper and it says keep me, so you keep the product fresh and just pull it out, if I can get it out. Okay, there we go. And it looks like this. I know it's like seriously a jelly shadow. So this is the shade Half Moon, and I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it for you. So it definitely feels like a gel. This is it on my finger, and I'm gonna go ahead right here and just swatch it for you. So this is a very pretty brownish reddish color, and it has reflects of blue in it. It's called Half Moon, and here's what it looks like on my finger once I brush it out. Unfortunately, it is kind of underneath my nail, so that is just something to think about when using these shadows. And I also picked up one more shade called Foxes, and I didn't want to go crazy with this, even though it's ColourPop, and you know ColourPop's affordable, but I still wanted to get like colors that I was interested in, and I thought that Half Moon was interesting color and pretty. And then, but I just wasn't really sure about this formula, and I know some people have said they really like it and it works for women who have like hooded eyes. And then this is the shade called Foxes, which is definitely a beautiful gold. Probably look great for this time of year because it is the holiday seasons. And I'm going to go ahead and swatch this shade for you. So this one is definitely lighter in pigmentation, but they're supposed to be, when you look at the ColourPop website, they're supposed to be like one swipe pigmentation. So yes, I do agree with that to a certain extent. It just depends on how much pigmentation you want, because the shade Foxes, it is kind of like dried down and it is pigmented, but it's not like a heavy full coverage if you're looking for that. So I'm going to go ahead and play with these shades. My eyebrows are already filled in using the ABH brow definer in the shade Caramel, and we're going to go ahead and prime the shadow. So I did look at like application tips on the ColourPop website, just so we can like get this demo correct and we're not just out here trying products and people are not like screaming like you didn't do it right. So I am going to prime my eyes, and I feel that basically with anything you should prime just to give it a chance, because if you don't and you have somewhat oily eyelids, and I do have somewhat oily eyelids, or I definitely put enough oil up there to make them oily because I have dry skin, and I'm like, I just can't stand to have that dry feeling. You know that dry feeling when your skin is just dry and it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels cakey, not moist. So of course I use my Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Caffeine. I'm going to go ahead and take this Real Techniques brush. It's a deluxe crease brush, and this is the brush that I actually use to blend out all of my primers and concealers. It's just so simple and easy to do this, and I've been using this brush for quite a few years to do this process. And I watched Tina, which is her channel called the Fancy Faced, and she always uses this brush in her tutorials when she blends out her primer. So I was like, one day I just picked it up and we have never gone back. Okay, so we have it nice and primed. So these shades, like, they're not transition shades as you see, But I'm really interested in the shade Half Moon. That's what really made me buy them. So I kind of have like another new item right here that it's not new, but I've had it for a while and it is available. It's the ColourPop Make Up Your Mind palette. So I kind of wanted to play with this as well with the Jelly Much shadows, just to kind of see how the Jelly Much shadows work in conjunction with other things, or only they good just maybe standalone products. But this Make Up Your Mind palette, it's 6 shades. Not super cohesive palette, because this palette was one of the palettes where they said you pick the shades. So these were actually like fan favorite shades, and there was a poll that was took place and ran for a certain amount of time, and you were allowed to pick the shades, or whatever shades won the most votes actually are the shades that went into this palette. So that's why it's like, but it's cute. I just thought it was cute, and I thought this color right here, which is called Over It, was pretty. And I think this kind of reminds me of the same shade Foxes. It's a little different than the Jelly Much. The Jelly Much is definitely more standout, more duochrome. So I don't know, we might dip into this a little bit today just to create a look. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep it in ColourPop family. And I'm going to go in with the Cute AF palette. I don't know why it has Cute AF, because this is actually the Yes Please palette, but it has Cute AF on the front. This is like their first actual palette. And I'm going to go ahead with my Sephora Pro crease brush. And then this is the number 10. And I'm going to go ahead with the shade, let's see, I'll do a warm crease. So I'm going to take this shade, it's called Louis. And this is what the shade looks like right here. And actually, no. Okay, let's start here. We're going to take this shade first. And this is called Chauffeur. And then I'm going to go in with Louis. Okay. Just to kind of get something for this to blend into, because I'm not sure if these Jelly Much shadows, if they blend up. I've only swatched them. I have not played with them on my eyes, so I'm very like just curious to see what we're going to get here. So does anybody have the Jelly Much shadows? Have you played with them? Do you like them? Or have you not purchased them because you haven't really seen any reviews on them and you just thought that they were weird? So let me know down below in the comment section. I think I have like, okay. Like I took my allergy medicine so late. I actually missed it for 2 days. Big mistake, y'all. I was like itching up a storm. Like even my lips were itching. I really played myself. What was I thinking? I had hives all over my body. But we're here. So I'm gonna go ahead with Louis. I'm gonna tap off some of the brush. Just kind of build that color up in the crease, and then I'm gonna switch over to either the Make Up Your Mind palette, or I'm definitely gonna go in with the Jelly Much shadows first. But just kind of looking at the consistency, I don't know if I should use one first. It doesn't say on the ColourPop website, but it does just say for like application tips, you can use a brush, so you don't have to use your fingers with that. But I just don't know. I don't know. So I do think I want to go ahead and I'm going to take with this Juvia's Place brush, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to dip into the Make Up Your Mind palette, and I'm going to go ahead and go in with this shade called Inside Out. And this is what the shade looks like. It's a kind of like a peachy shade, and I'm just going to kind of pop this in this area right here, this crease area, not crease but outer, my inner corner. Good Lord, what is it? Sorry y'all, I'm like half crazy. I am tired. I'm sorry if it's coming across, but your girl is worn out. I've been working on a big event and it finally took place the other day, and I'm just like, oh Lord, I'm so tired, but everything came out so well, so I'm so proud of how everything turned out. But good Lord, I'm tired. And even though we planned so long for the event, it's just still so many things you just can't do until the week. So like turning in food, final count numbers. People are like, oh, I want to come at the last minute. Like, yes, we want you to come, but we gotta get stuff into the venue so they can prepare. And I don't know. So it's an organization I'm in, and it was our fundraiser, and I was the chair of it. So I'm sorry if I'm coming off tired, but I really wanted to have a video here for you all, and really just kind of wanted to play in this these jelly mush shadows. So I think I'm gonna go ahead, because just the type of the texture, like, it's just hard to tell, but I think this ABH 18 brush will actually be like the best to apply these jelly mush shadows. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Half Moon, because I'm like, I was super drawn to it. And you know, these little dual chrome colors that are like kind of red, blue, beige, blue, brown, now blue brown with like a hint of purple or red have been very popular. So it was even kind of a shade somewhat similar to that in the Bretman Rock palette. Well, that turquoise shade, it had a lot of red to it. So it wasn't so much just a duochrome, but it did definitely have a lot of red in it. And I did do a video on that if you wanted to check it out. So I'm gonna start in the corner with this, excuse me. Okay, so I mean, immediately, like when I put it on, it feels sticky. I mean, but not in a bad way. It feels cool, as in like temperature wise. It is applying pretty well with this brush, the synthetic brush. It feels cool. It feels a little tacky / sticky, but it's supposed to dry down. Because like on my hand, it's completely dry. It doesn't even feel that way anymore. But you know, like the back of your hand versus your eyeball can totally have a different temperature. So it blends out pretty okay, if you can see that. I'm like looking at myself in the viewfinder. I'm like, you look really light, girl. Where is your pigmentation? Where is your melanin? But these lights, they just kind of draw me out. And I'm just going ahead and pat that over. I'm going to bring this like kind of above the crease. And I'm just going to keep patting it out. I don't know. So now it's kind of like with the brush, like it's smoothing out, but I just kind of want to take my finger, because like these are jelly shadows, so they definitely have like somewhat of some texture to it. This shade is pretty. It looks more purple right now. I don't know if you could tell, but it definitely looks more purple. Okay, so I mean, that was actually pretty easy. I just didn't know what to expect. I guess it would be kind of similar to using a liquid shadow. Like, you know, liquid shadows have been like all the rave. I know I'm not really supposed to pull on my eye like that, but with this eye, I definitely have to pull on it, because otherwise, I don't know what would happen. It would just be a mess. So let's see. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna tap it out, because like I said, I think your finger would probably be like some of the best application. I know I talk a lot about those Sephora glitter liners, but I don't know if that will work for this. I mean, it would, but I think even still, just because of the consistency of it, you really do need to use like your finger to kind of go back over it. But you can get a precise application with it, which I really do think is awesome. And I'm just kind of working in smaller sections, because see, even like when it comes up on the brush, if you can see, it's kind of like, maybe a little hard to see, but it's definitely like kind of like a little glob or a ball of product right there. Let's see. And I'm just going to kind of put that up in the crease. You can see, like, I've had this one on a little bit longer, and definitely where I have some lines, it's kind of settling in there, but I'm gonna let it dry down. I think the color is pretty. It looks more magenta when I'm looking at it now. I'm like looking in this mirror over here to try to see if I can see any difference, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I do want to go ahead and play with the other color foxes. I'm kind of curious. I'm like, do they layer over each other well? I don't know. We're just testing some stuff out. I should have probably stirred this up, but I didn't. And it just seems messy. Because like I said, when I showed you what the inside of the product looked like, it's definitely a lot smoother when you look down here. But then this is more like definitely very jelly-ish. So I think it's a cool concept for sure. We'll see how it works. It layered over my crease color well as far as shadow, so that's a good thing. And let's see if we can kind of blend it out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take my little blending brush. I'm going to go ahead with my MAC 224 and just kind of blend it out. Because they dried down, but it looks like it's somewhat just a tiny bit blendable. Yeah, you can blend out the edges without having any issue. Okay. And it does, because it really dries down to like a powder finish. Because like, even if I look over my hand, you see it's like I can do this. So, and it does actually, the product does kind of somewhat move around. And it's definitely more product on the brush. So, I mean, that's to be expected though. So let's go in with the color Foxes and see, which is the gold shade. I think I'm kind of stick it in the inner corner. Or no, should I stick it towards the middle? I just wonder. Let's pop it in the middle. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm just going to go ahead with that same ABH brush I did wipe it off in here. Now I'm going to do better. I'm going to probably go in with this area down here. And this area is actually, yeah, it's very smooth. You get like a very smooth payoff instead of like that chunkier vibe. So you definitely probably should stir them up, but I don't know what you would stir them up with, kind of. I don't know. Let me try to pop that in the middle. Okay, so it does layer well. I'm going to go back in with a little bit of more. I think this is a product you definitely kind of have to work kind of quick with, because once it starts kind of setting in place, it is going to be set. Now this Fox's color is very foil. Now it wasn't showing up like that on this eyelid. Let's try it again. Let's build it up. Okay, there we go. And we're going to go ahead and blend that out. I'm going to go ahead back in with that 224. Let's see. Get those edges. I don't know. Let's try to blend it out. It's not really going on this finger. I mean on that eye with that brush. So let's try. I mean, what do you think? I mean, it looks okay. I mean, it definitely gives a nice glaze over the eye. I think these are more products that you put on in maybe one fell swoop versus trying to... Okay, so my camera kind of cut off recording, but they dry down nice. They do leave like a nice, pretty sheen over your eye, and it definitely looks... it's not so much as a sparkle. It has a nice gentle sparkle to it. But I was saying that I think this is more of a product where you definitely should probably just do like a one swipe versus doing a complete eye look that is structured, where you have like a crease color, inner corner, all of that. I think this is more something that's kind of over the lid. I don't know. I mean, they're different. I kind of equate them to like a Super Shock shadow, but more like in a liquid form. I think this Fox's color is very pretty. I think both colors are actually very pretty. It's just a different look. I was just assuming that as I put the cap back onto this, because this product will dry out very quickly. I think I was just assuming that it would be maybe a little bit more bold, but maybe it doesn't have to be, because it's just type of the product. I don't know, even though this shade seems like, well, it is a lighter color, but you would see more of the duochrome. You see the duochrome, but it's like you don't see it. I don't know. So let's maybe deepen up the eye look. So, because I think it's looking a little flat, and then you have that iridescent color that's kind of in the crease. And sometimes I'm a little leery about having those type of colors in the crease, just because, not iridescent, but duochrome shades in the crease, just because I have like the hooded eyes, and it just kind of makes it bring it forward versus setting back, so it makes it look more prominent. But let's go in with this purple shade from the Make Up Your Mind, so Lock and Key. And this is what Lock and Key looks like, because there's a lot of purple in this look. And see, I'm taking on this Tarte brush. Like, everything in here is basically a shimmer. So, I mean, that doesn't really do anything for the look, quite honestly, but just testing the theory. I mean, like, we're really in here just playing at this point. I mean, you could do a complete look with it. I mean, it layers fine over it. It's just that this is not deep enough. Let's just go try to pop in with this turquoise shade, or deep teal actually, and just give us a little depth up in here. But it's good to know you can definitely kind of layer over the Jelly Much shadows. I don't know. I have to kind of like come back on here and play with it some more, because I know they've released so many of them. But you know, it's kind of like the Super Shock shadows. Like, they're so pretty, so gorgeous, but at the end of the day, the people are going to prefer the regular shadows, because I mean, they're just easier to work with, you know? Like, even though dropping stuff. Y'all know me, always dropping something, okay? So, let's go in with a little mascara. I'm not really feeling wing liner today. We'll see. Let's go ahead and put the mascara. Get our lashes back going. This is the Bad Girl Bang. You know, this has been like one of my favorite mascaras since it's come out. It does have like somewhat of the fibers. It's like it's something connected on my wand, if you can see. Oh, maybe it's like a long fiber, or maybe it's a little piece of hair that got caught up in it. So I'm like, okay, ain't no way in the world my eyelashes are that long. Could you imagine if I had an eyelash that long? Oh my god, that would be absolutely crazy. Yeah, but this is kind of like a mascara that has some built-in fibers for help of lengthening lashes and making them thick, which I do appreciate that, because I have like baby lashes. So it does really help it stand out. If you can see. I'm liking this look actually more. I feel very kind of Mardi Gras-ish at the moment, like a light Mardi Gras lush. It's like a nice little subtle satin sheen on the eye. It's not very high foil, but that Fox's color does pack a little punch in the middle. It's different. Of course, that was probably my eyeliner that dropped. It was. Back with the Pat McGrath eyeliner, and this is in the color, what is this? Extreme Black. Oh my god, so I know this video is going up tomorrow, but I got an email saying that Pat McGrath is going to put like her stuff 25% off, like the whole site. And I don't have the Mothership 1 and 2 palette, so I'm thinking about picking up maybe just one. I know I do wing liner a lot on my channel, but sometimes I don't like to have the wing liner. And let's go in with some mascara on the bottom. But the best way to handle that is like let it dry, then go in. And then we have, this is Dripping Gloss by ColourPop. This is a collab they had with Makeup Shayla. Give my old crusty lips something gloss. I was just looking at it, I was like, I got to exfoliate, girl. Now there you go. Okay. So the Jelly Munch shadows. I don't know what I was expecting. I just think I was expecting like Half Moon to be a little bit more pack a punch on the eye, even though I don't know why, because clearly when I swatch it, it's not a shade that's like boom in your face, high pigmentation, high foil. Overall, I do like the look I got. And I was just here playing for the sole purposes of playing, and you could just kind of see how they perform if you're nervous about it. But what we do know is like you can do regular shadows with it. I had no problem with it here in the crease. I have no problem with it here in the corner. I put it all over my lids, kind of going up into my crease. So far it's fine. It's not even, if I look at it, it's not even creasing. I did prime my eyes, remember, but I'm always going to kind of prime. But at first I really wasn't feeling it in my corners, but now that it's kind of set down where I have those fine lines, it's a lot better. It's a lot smoother. Also, you do get the nice duochrome, and it's nice to know that you can layer more than one color on top of each other. Like with the Super Shock shadows, you can do that, but it's a little hard to do that. So, I mean, overall, I think it came out great. Now, I think the best application tip would definitely be use a brush like how I had this ABH 18 brush right here. And let's see, there's plenty of product on the back of this, like I said. Like, it's messy. I mean, this is not a product every day, but if you have a certain color, you just kind of want to pop it in the middle, or maybe just swipe it all across the lid, you can definitely do that. They're inexpensive. It kind of reminds me of a liquid shadow, but it's just like the Super Shock shadows. They're fun to play with. They're a different type of product, something that you don't always see, and it's something, you know, kind of nice to have different products in your collection, you know, not just the same old types of products where it's just like general eyeshadows. But part of me does think that they're a little bit easier to work with than the Super Shock shadows, and I'll say this because if you saw, I was able to get a lot of pigmentation when I was using a brush. You know, with the Super Shock shadows, you can't really get a whole lot of pigmentation with a brush. You definitely really most likely have to go in with your finger, and a lot of people don't like that. I didn't even have to use my finger with this until I just wanted to kind of smooth it out, and that's a lot better than me feeling like I need to apply the whole eyeshadow, you know, with my finger. I don't really like using my finger. I know I talk about those applicators a lot, but I didn't try that. But like I said, you can't get precise application, and with my eyeshadows, I still like somewhat precise application. I'm like, I just can't go here. I mean, and it just doesn't look as good sometimes. But I do think that in that regard, they are a little bit easier to work with, and they layer well. And it dries down quick. So overall, I mean, for $8, I have a couple shades. I mean, I'm not unhappy about it. I think they're different. It was a little bit different than what I was expecting. As far as how does it feel on my eyelids right now, it does not feel heavy. It feels normal. I'm just like trying to think like the rest of my eyelids. I'm like, no, it feels normal. It feels like I have on regular eyeshadow, because it's more like a cream to powder finish. So, and that's understandable. I mean, they have plenty of foundations and plenty of other face products that are cream to powder. So, yeah, at first it was tacky when I put it on, but it dries down pretty quickly. So far I'm like looking in the mirror, I'm like, how do I like it? What is it looking like? Does it look crazy? So far, so good. So I hope you enjoyed me kind of like testing makeup out that I've been hoarding. I know like these products have been weird. People are like, I don't know, do I like that? And like I said, these retail for $8. available now on the ColourPop website, and they have released a whole bunch of other colors since their first release. So these two were in the first release, but now I think with their new Christmas collection, they have they have come out with a whole lot of other colors. So until next time, let me know how you like this video. Comment down below. Do you have any of the Jelly Rush shadows? Have you tried them for yourself? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Or are you thinking about picking up any? I would be very curious to know. Give this video a thumbs up, and please do subscribe to my channel. You know I would love to have you here, and I will talk to you again. Bye, YouTube. And, you know, I'll see y'all later. Bye.